And finally, we are live. Welcome to Songs from the Shed. Are we okay on the Facebook side? I can see people on, certainly on the YouTube side. Is there anybody on Facebook? Can you just put a quick comment to check we're working on Facebook? I had that thing again where I needed to log back in to the Restream application, which is a thing which puts it all into YouTube and Facebook at the same time. But it's one of those which got there's very annoying little things. So there's Yvonne O'Donnell. She's on Facebook, I think. Hello, Yvonne. There's some really annoying things that they do to prove you're not a robot, and you have to click all the squares with the traffic light in it, and then there's like this minute traffic light down the right hand side you haven't noticed. Anyway, things like that. So welcome along to Songs from the Shed on the 1st of July. Born on the 1st of July. Yes, big news for you tonight. A bit later on, that was a Eurovision starter for you. If you didn't recognise it, that was the winner of Eurovision 2019, Duncan Lawrence's song "Arcade." So let's say hello to people. We got Mum there. He's just finished watering the garden. Jolly good, just in time. Adrian's on. Good. Hello, Adrian. Sally Parkin is with us. Lovely Victoria, of course. And Yvonne, as we've already noticed. So welcome along, everybody, and hope you are well and hope you are keeping cool. It's been quite a humid day here. I went out and thought, should I put a coat on? I thought, no, not really. But as I walked the dogs, there was it wasn't quite rain, but it was just like sort of little sort of pins and needles like droplets. So it was very humid, and I think it's going to break soon. Anyway, you didn't tune in for the weather forecast, did you? You tuned in for some music. So as I said, that was Arcade, Duncan Lawrence. This is a little bit of rock and roll, toned down a little bit. This is called Living on a Prayer. Well, Adrian, you managed to choose the tennis, and you managed to get in time for your request from last time. You've probably forgotten that you requested Magic Moments, Perry Como. One of the first outings for the Bacharach and David songwriting partnership, though I have to say, lyrically not one of their best, I don't think. Memorable tune, but I think the rhyming clutch down with touchdown, I think, if I remember rightly. Yes, I think they went on to do slightly better things, but that was the first record was on a 78, Adrian says. Uh, yeah, I remember 78s. I used to, I had a 78 wind-up gramophone as my first record player. And I put vinyl on, I played all my vinyl singles on it as well and totally wrecked them, obviously, because of the sharp needle. But I used to be taken to the Salvation Army in York by my mum every so often, and we'd go upstairs and they got this big sort of attic place, and it was full of what's the word? Full of 78s. Yes, full of 78s, full of old boxes, and they were a penny a time, and I just chose the ones via the labels. So I got some very interesting, because I liked the look of the label. I didn't know who the heck, sort of Ted Heath was or people like that. I thought he was the Prime Minister. Um, so I got quite a few 78s back in the day. And those one penny records are probably worth about 15 quid a pop now. Anyway, here's Mrs. Ian Brown, who says that she loves this hour to relax and restore some balance into some fab music, stories and music. Thank you very much. Nice to have you on board. Nice to have you on board indeed. Right, where am I to with my... yes, a little bit of Otis Redding, I think. Ah, yes, the famous Ken Lee song, also known as "Without You," and depending on your age, by Nielsen or Mariah Carey. Um, Actually, though, it was written by Pete Ham of the group Badfinger. Do you remember Badfinger? Um, was it No Matter What it was called? No, I'm not. No, it's Veronica Keating, isn't it? Day After Day, was that Badfinger? If you want it, come and get it. If you want it, here it is, come and get it. That was Badfinger. Anyway, my Badfinger is recovered. You'll be glad to know. And Chris Klesmeyer is with us and spending Canada Day with us. Well, isn't that fantastic? I didn't know it was Canada Day until today, but then again, it doesn't get a lot of coverage over in the UK, Chris, as you might expect. But then again, I don't suppose you go bonkers on St George's Day either. Lovely to have you along. Chris, if you don't know, is Kerry Copeland's mum, and she's living in Canada. Kerry is from Canada, but now living in California. And finally, she arrives. A little bit late, but we'll forgive Sue Panton for that. Talking to Sue a bit earlier on about stuff, exciting stuff as well, which I can't possibly reveal, as I'll have to kill you. Anyway, so that was Without You, and before that, Doc of the Bay, of course, Otis Redding. How about a little bit of Janis Joplin stroke Beverly Knight? Apologies for the for the massively. Don't know if I'd go. Something just seemed to go bang, and it wasn't my hand. Maybe you've got an insect underneath the sensor. Maybe sometimes that happens, and you get it at full force. It doesn't depend on my delicate touch. Anyway, that was Chicago's "If You Leave Me Now," of course, from Chicago 10, was it? They went a long time, didn't they? Chicago with just having albums 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, sort of like, they obviously hadn't got a committee together to think of album titles. They just just got 2, 3, 5. I think it got up to about 16 or 17 or something ridiculous, and then they suddenly had one called Hot Streets. And you're thinking, huh? Did somebody wake up and realise that they have to give albums titles? Yeah. Anyway. Right, so that was If You Leave Me Now. Before that, of course, Piece of My Heart, as recorded by Janis Joplin and recorded by Beverly Knight and various other people. Also recorded by Rebecca Downs, who wonderful singer who I'm lucky to play with. And Rebecca's out touring again soon. I'll bring you news of that when I get it. Or you can tune into Rebecca's own channel on Facebook and get all the news. Adrian says that, If You Leave Me Now was quite different to Chicago's first hit, 25-6-4. They started as this sort of quite jazzy, sort of experimental sort of outfit, if you listen to the early stuff. And even 25-6-4 was quite commercial for them. And then I think they decided they wanted some money. And Peter Cetera, who was the lead singer at the time, wrote that. And I actually bought the album Chicago 10, thinking it would be all like If You Leave Me Now, and it wasn't. It was very much more the early style of Chicago. And then they started working with a producer called David Foster, producer come songwriter, and he co-wrote a lot of the later stuff, like Hard to Say I'm Sorry. I'm trying to think of them now. No, that's Hard to Say I'm Sorry. The other one I think of is Glory of Love, which is also David Foster, but that was Peter Cetera's solo hit. Anyway, the sort of style of later Chicago that I mean, with all the plinky Yamaha DX7 electric piano sounds, which was sort of very 80s. And there was a bit of a hoo-ha. There's always still a bit of a gap between people who like the earlier stuff and who like the later stuff, as per. Anyway, right, now I'm just going to turn this down a little bit because it's a little bit high and a little bit hot. Time to tell you about future plans for Songs from the Shed. Those of you who have been... Oh, and I should say, by the way, because before I forget, actually, she turned up and said hello. Otherwise, she'll stomp a little foot and she'll feel left out. Stuart and Joy Reynolds are there. Hello, Joy. Hello, Stuart. Don't want you to feel left out. And here's Liz McCauley as well. And I've been enjoying the last part of Shine the Garden. Yeah, a lot of people have been in their gardens today, I suspect. Yes, the future of Songs from the Shed. You may have seen a little poll I put up on Facebook about whether, because I'm sort of aware that hopefully come July the 19th, life will be picking up again a little bit, hopefully. I've got everything crossed. I'm just going to do it now, whether this air can or not, really. So that's my that's my take. But people are going to start picking up their lives, and they're going to be other things for them to do and other calls on their time. So I'm kind of like aware of that. I'm also starting to book a few things myself, a few gigs here and there. Very sparse at the moment, but it will come. So there are going to be more calls on my time as well. So I put this little poll up asking you whether you still wanted to tune into this little gathering. And I'm glad to say, very, very flattered to say, in fact, although as I put up in my post, I wasn't seeking your affirmation. I was sort of trying to get a genuine idea for the need, really. But anyway, I think everybody but one. And don't worry, all the votes were anonymous, so I have no idea who that one was. So they would continue to tune in. So then I was left with a bit of dilemma. So as I say, I'm aware that people still want to do this, but there's still calls all the time. So as I kind of hinted in the post, I've decided that Songs from the Shed will continue, but it will continue on a monthly basis. Okay, a monthly basis. And it's going to be on the last Thursday of every month, which means that the next Songs from the Shed now will be on July the 29th. Now, don't start scribbling on the back of your hands, because I'll put all this up on Facebook and on the Goldstraw Music channel as well, and hopefully something on the YouTube channel as well. So July 29th will be our next gathering. I sort of hesitated between the first and the last of each month, but I decided that we might want to break over Christmas for other things. Other things might be calling on our time around about the end of December, do you think? But it would mean that we want Songs from the Shed. Kerry Cookler. Troublemaking as always. I don't know. Got a megaphone there, she is. Hello, darling. So yeah, monthly. Last Thursday of the month, and starting this month. So July the 29th, I'm looking up at my screen, at my sheet on here, my cheat sheet of that's what I'm going to play next, and the things I've got to tell you about is all up here. That's why I keep going like that. So thank you for all your support. Thank you that you want to keep doing this. It's very flattering, very feels very nice. What more can I say? Love you all. Love you all. So yeah, 29th of July. But as I say, I will put up a formal announcement tomorrow over the weekend. And Sally is pleased that we continue as well. Oops, there we go. Thank you very much. And Mum says they want Songs from the Shed as well. So there we go. Your wish is granted. Hopefully that's kind of like a good balance for all of us. It will also help me in a way, because I was saying to Sue Panton when we were talking on the phone earlier that I'm kind of like running out. I'm sort of aware of not wanting to repeat myself too often, but also I don't want to spend all my time learning new songs. I keep thinking, oh yeah, that'd be good. I could do that one. And then I think, yeah, but I'm going to have to learn that, aren't I? Because it's got a complex chord progression and things like that. It's not 3 chords or whatever. So there we go. Songs from the Shed will continue monthly. And the first of those, this is going to be the last of the weekly session, so there'll be no session next week. And the next Songs from the Shed will be on July the 29th, and then thereafter, last Thursday of each month, and same time. Okay, I think probably this seems to suit everybody. If you want it later, or you think it could be better later, let me know in the comments. What else can you do to help? You can go to my YouTube channel, and if you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel, can you please do so? So that's Goldstraw Music. There's also Goldstraw Media. If you search for Goldstraw, you might arrive at Goldstraw Media. Don't worry about Goldstraw Media. That's just the one for my weird train spotting proclivities. Goldstraw Music is the channel you want, and just hit the subscribe button and hit the bell icon as well. And if you are watching on YouTube now, if you can hit the old thumbs up button, that helps immensely. Because basically the way YouTube works is it sort of it goes by popularity as to what they're likely to serve up as suggestions to random strangers. So if you do that for me, then who knows who we could have on here next time we gather for Songs from the Shed. Yes, Stuart and Joe Reynolds say, thank goodness for that. It's just about to organise a rally. Well, yeah, Kerry would have been at the head of there. And so Chris also votes yes, she missed the survey. Thank you very much, everybody. Really nice of you. Right, on with the music. That's enough chattering. Goodness knows we probably won't get by. Anyway, this seems quite appropriate in terms of time passing by, because it's a long time since we first did this, isn't it? Julie Clark's Don't Sleep in the Subway, one of the fantastic tunes from Hatch and Trent, of course. Very much underrated songwriter, Tony Hatch, in my opinion. Scandalously underrated. And Don't Sleep in the Subway, yes. And before that, you heard As Time Goes By. Play it, Sam. He didn't say play it again, apparently. Just play it, Sam. Anyway, right, now it's time for a new game. It's called Two Songs with the Same Title, not run together, but played one after another. So here we go. Yeah, see if you can guess the title. Oh, by the way, let's have a quick look. Adrian French said something. Yes, it doesn't matter if you play the songs you've played before. Well, that's lucky, actually, Adrian, because I played Don't Sleep in the Subway before, so for certain. I think we did it with, I think Jane and I did it. I should say as well that I am still planning to try and get some guests back in as well, so hopefully you will see Phil Kirk. If he's watching, he doesn't know it yet, but he will be here, and Jane Bailey will hopefully be back with us as well, and who knows who else I might persuade to come into my shed. Anyway, that's for another time, but definitely, as I say, we'll be back on July 29th. Right, yes, two songs, one title. And it was indeed Just the Way You Are. Billy Joel. And before that, you heard Bruno Mars having a go at Just the Way You Are. There we go. Right. Yes. Why don't we do another of those? Yes. Yes, let's try this one. Soon they forget, Adrian, yes. Well, they were both called Hold Me Now, and the first one you're correct was by the Thompson Twins, who were a trio and not twins, exactly. A wacky way of they had in the 80s of doing things like that. Yeah, and that was Eurovision Song for Ireland, and Mr. Eurovision, as he's known. Yeah, they're both called Hold Me Now, Victoria. Hold me now, don't cry, or something like that. That's the way it goes. Yeah, and Johnny Logan also had a Eurovision winner with What's Another Year, and he also wrote another winner for Ireland as well. So he really is Mr. Eurovision, Johnny Logan. But a very nice chap, I've been told by somebody. I can't remember who told me that, but they met him, or they'd worked with him, in fact, and said he was really nice to work with. Anyway, that's nearly our time. So just to remind you of the main headline news again. Bong. That's at 10. Don't adjust your clock to think it's now 10 o'clock. It's weird. That was always news at 10, and actually the name of the piece is The Awakening, which is not what you're doing at 10 o'clock. It's not what I'm doing at 10 o'clock anyway. Yes, the main headline news. Songs from the Shed is not going away, but it is going monthly, and the next Songs from the Shed will be on July 29th. So I will see you then at the usual time. Okay? Lovely. So basically, I can say that it's been lovely to be with you, and thank you very much for your company and for your support and love and all the rest of it. Really appreciate it. It's really nice to be here with you all. And one of the things I was going to say, actually, I think maybe at some point when we're all a bit more normal, maybe we'll do a live Songs from the Shed or Songs Out of the Shed, and I'll hire a little local venue, maybe Penkle Village Hall, maybe. I don't know. What do you think, Sue? And we'll do Songs from the Shed live, as it were, in person, live and in person. Gold Straw has entered the building. Maybe we'll do that, and you can all bring your own bottles and things like that, and we'll get gloriously drunk, and nobody will listen to all the bad notes I'm playing. Thank you very much again, and so just let me assure you once more that we're not going away. In fact, we're coming around again very soon.